It's extremely important that you do not skip this introduction. Even though this video can help with any level of PTSD and trauma, every person has a unique reaction when thinking back on a traumatic experience. If you believe that it would be too overwhelming to think back on a traumatic experience, you should not watch this video. If you're not sure if it would be too overwhelming or not, I also suggest not to watch this video. Instead, I recommend to contact me or another professional therapist directly for help. If you're okay with thinking about and to face a past traumatic experience for the purpose of freeing yourself from that trauma, then this video is for you. This video should not be regarded as a replacement, but as a supplement to professional therapy. Please read the disclaimer of the description of this video for further information.
My name is Joachim Eriksson, and this video is designed to help relieve PTSD and trauma. You do not need to have PTSD or the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder to benefit from this video. Anyone with a recent or past trauma that affects them on any level will find this video helpful. I will not explain or describe the symptoms of PTSD in this video. The main focus will be on the solution to relieve and to help overcome PTSD and trauma. I have been encouraged to make this video by a Vietnam War veteran from the United States named Tori Aiden Mann. The very first time I came across Tori was when he posted a comment on one of my other YouTube videos, and this is what he said. I'm a Vietnam vet. My racing thoughts of 46 years stopped with power breath meditation, so I teach that now. I thought I was fine till I tried this. I am beyond amazed. If I was there, I would hug you till it hurt. Thank you again. I was very humbled to see how I had helped this man who'd been suffering afflictions of PTSD for nearly half a century. I found out later that Tori works as a wellness coach and PTSD counselor today. And this was when he asked for my permission to show my video to a group where he volunteers, helping and supporting others who suffers from PTSD. And after showing my video to this group, this was one of the comments that he posted. Last week, an Iraq vet told me the power breath meditation upset her, brought too much back. This week, I played your video. She loved it, as did the rest of the group. It really helped her let go. How can we ever thank you? At this point, Tor and I have gotten to know each other quite a bit, mainly through email correspondence and talking on Skype. Tori has taught me the incredibly effective method of power breath meditation, and I have showed Tori more in-depth techniques that I use when I help my clients one-to-one. After showing this and working a little bit with Tori, he has described how other methods that he used before could only relieve the symptoms that he suffered from PTSD, but that the methods I showed him got rid of the cause, and as a result, he now has a deep peace and calm he has never had. I've helped a lot of other people who suffered PTSD and trauma, in cases where this was caused by wars, terrorist attacks, accidents, deaths, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. And based on this experience, the methods I use, and Tori's encouragement, I now hope to be helping you. Most people will find that this video by itself is enough to help them. You might find that you have to return a few times to work through the layers of your problems before you get to the bottom and get rid of the cause. When we begin shortly, I will ask you to close your eyes. So before that, I need to show you 5 different points on your body that I will ask you to focus on throughout this video. The first of these 5 points is on the inside edge of your eyebrow, either your right or left side about the size of your fingertip. So right here. The second point is at the side of your eye, outside the corner of your eye, where you can feel the bone here, near your temple. The third point is underneath your eye, vertically below your pupil, if you're looking straight ahead. just outside your eye socket. The fourth point is on the inside edge of your collarbone, where you can feel where your bone ends, close to the center of your upper chest, so right here. And all these points can be either your right or left side, whatever you feel most comfortable with. The fifth and final point is your wrist, and that's your entire wrist going around, where you would normally wear a watch. So the entire wrist going around. That's the fifth and final point. And don't worry about getting these points exact. If you do your best following my instructions, this will work for you. And what I will call these points, and just to go through them again, I will call them your eyebrow, side of the eye, underneath the eye, collarbone, and your wrist. There's no need to memorize these points. I will call them out as we go, and you will only focus on one point at a time. Now take some time to make sure that you sit comfortably, and when you're ready, you can close your eyes.
And as you find yourself sitting comfortably now, take a few deep breaths. In a short while, I'm going to ask you to focus on the first point of your eyebrow. As you focus on a point, one point at a time, I will be saying a certain phrase out loud, and you will be repeating that phrase within your own mind. And to give you an idea of what I mean by focusing on a point, think of having a small stone or pebble in your shoe, and you find that uncomfortable, so you take your shoe off and you empty it, and then you put your foot back into it again. And you have that feeling of relief. But you know how you can focus in on that tiny, small area where that small stone or pebble was just moments before. With that same type of focus and awareness is what you're going to bring to the points that you will focus on in this exercise. So focus and bring your attention and awareness to that first point on the inside edge of your eyebrow. And as you do that now, repeat this phrase within your own mind. I follow these instructions for my own benefit. Now bring your attention to the side of your eye and within your own mind say, right now, I'm safe. Focus on the point underneath your eye and say, I am in control of this process to use it for my benefit. Now focus on your collarbone and say, it is safe to notice what bothers me in order to get rid of it. And finally, focus on your wrist and take a deep breath in as you focus on your wrist. And breathe out and say peace. When our mind is full of things that bother us, it's like a garden that is full of undesirable weeds. We can talk about how the weeds in our garden bother us. Or we can pretend that the weeds are not there and avoid looking at them. We can try to cover up the weed, maybe step on it, or put something in front of it so that we don't see it. But we know it's still there. None of these methods work to get rid of weeds. The only sure way to take weeds out is to gently dig down to the roots of each one and pull it up by the roots. One weed at a time. It takes a little bit of effort, but when we do it, it's well worth it. Your garden will be beautiful and you will have peace of mind. Pay attention to how you are feeling at this moment. What is bothering you most right now? What is on top of your mind in regards to stress, distress, anxiety, and unpleasant feelings? Your feeling is unique to you. It's not necessary to name what you are experiencing. Just notice and pay attention to how you know you have it. Is it something you're feeling in your body somewhere? Where is that and how does that feel? Or is it a picture or a movie playing in your mind? Or something you hear, like you're telling yourself something or someone else is saying something to you? however this is represented for you, notice it and step into it. You can do that now because you will feel it for the last time, and notice how strong it is. Imagine, right in front of you, undesirable weed growing in a garden. Imagine now pulling out the roots from underneath that weed and naturally getting rid of it. Now focus all your attention on the first point of your eyebrow. In your mind, you say, I release and let go of all sadness, fears, and emotional trauma. Move to the side of your eye and say, I release and let go of all anger, resentment, shame, and guilt. Move to underneath your eye. In your mind you say, I release feelings of abandonment, betrayal, hopelessness, and helplessness. Focus on your collarbone and say, I release feelings of no control, rejection, and everything else. Focus on your wrist. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and say peace. Check the feeling now and notice how it has changed and what's different. Whatever is there now, focus on that. Again, focus on the point of your eyebrow and in your mind say, I release and let it all go now. Move to the side of your eye. In your mind you say, it's okay to let it go. I can let it go. Move to underneath your eye and say, I forgive myself for holding on to this. I let it all go now. Focus on your collarbone and say, I will live free from it now. I let it all go. Focus on your wrist. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and say peace. Now focus again on what you are feeling and experiencing. There might be something left of the feeling you just focused on. Or you might find that something different has showed up. Feelings tend to change as we let go of one to another, possibly from hurt to a feeling of anger, or from anger to sadness, or from something else to something else. Perhaps a different incident altogether shows up in your mind. If nothing in particular is showing up, see if you can link and connect the feeling you just focused on to some point in time when you felt almost the same feeling, maybe just the same or very similar. Focus on your unique experience as it is, unique to you. Focus on the point of your eyebrow and say, this is what it is, and it is okay. Focus at the side of the eye and say, I let go of resistance to what I hold on to because I can let it all go. Underneath the eye, you say, I release tension and pressure from my body. Focus on the collarbone and say, I release unpleasant images from my mind. And again, focus on the collarbone and say, I release unpleasant words and sounds from my mind. And yet again, focus on the collarbone and say, it's now safe to let go of the past. I let myself let it go. Focus on the wrist. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and say peace. Pay attention again to what you're feeling and experiencing now and what is left. Focus on your eyebrow and say, I let it go, I let it go. Focus at the side of your eye and say, I let it go, I let it go. Underneath the eye, say, I let it go, I let it go. Collarbone, say, I let it go, and release it completely. Focus on your wrist, take a deep breath in, and breathe out. And say peace. Now imagine that you are walking into a beautiful, bright and colorful movie theater. The seats in the movie theater are empty and you take a seat near the back. The screen is far ahead, but you can still see it clearly. You will be watching a black and white movie of yourself as you experienced a past unpleasant experience. Choose an incident from your past that you are ready to watch in black and white of yourself as you experienced that incident. That you are ready to watch a past unpleasant experience. Begin watching the movie now and see yourself reacting to that incident in the movie. Notice how it feels when you're watching this. Now focus on your eyebrow and say, this movie in my mind is a movie in my mind. Side of the eye, say, it's not happening anymore. I can be relieved that it is over. Underneath the eye, say, I let go of this movie and the way that I imagine it. Focus on the collarbone and say, in this very moment I'm safe and I can let it go. Again on the collarbone, say, as I let go of the images and sounds, I also let go of the feelings. And again on the collarbone, say, I release trauma, fear, and emotional pain. Focus on your wrist, take a deep breath in, and breathe out, and say peace. Now return to the movie theater and watch the movie again and notice what's different. Pay attention to how it is different and what feels different. Focus on your eyebrow and say, anything I picture now is only in my mind. Side of the eye, say, no one else is watching this movie, and I can also let it go. Underneath the eye, say, I am okay now as I let it go. Focus on the collarbone and say, I let it go, I let it go. Focus on your wrist, take a deep breath in and breathe out and say peace. Now return to the movie that you watched. If at this stage it is bothering you to watch the movie, just stay with that and notice how it is. However, if watching this does not disturb you much, then step into that incident that you watched and look out your own eyes and try to remember it happening. Seeing what you saw, hearing what you heard, and feeling what you felt at the time of the incident. For the last time, notice how strong it is. Now focus on your eyebrow and say, this is not real in this moment. Side of the eye, say, at this moment I'm here. I can be relieved that it is over. Underneath the eye, say, I relieve all pain from this past event. Focus on the collarbone and say, I forgive myself as I let go of the emotional pain. Again on the collarbone say, I let go of all emotional trauma, suffering, and grief from the past. Again on the collarbone say, it is over now, and I can live free. Focus on your wrist, take a deep breath in, and breathe out, and say peace. Focus again on what's left for you. Focus on your eyebrow and say, people who care don't want me to suffer. Side of the eye, say, people who care are happy when I let this go. Underneath the eye, say, I let it go now, fully and completely. Collarbone, say, as I would care for a dear friend, I let this go. Again on the collarbone say, it's okay to care for myself and let this go. Again on the collarbone say, I release all emotional pain and unpleasant feelings now. Focus on your wrist, take a deep breath in, and breathe out, and say peace. In order for us to know that there is weed that we need to work away at in our garden, we need to be aware of the contrast, the beautiful things you find in your garden, the beautiful flowers with soothing fragrance, a winding creek with gentle water sparkling against round soft rocks, flowing alongside the bank of green thick grass, birds singing beautifully, flying high to the backdrop of a clear blue sky, and warm gentle rays of sun peeking through lush green leaves and tall trees, with the soothing wind rustling among them, and the peace in this place. Think now of a good memory you have, real or imagined, however it is good for you, peaceful, fun, joyful, loving, happy. You know best. Step into this good memory and notice how good it is, how it sounds good, feels good, and is so good to be in. And give yourself even more, making it bigger, brighter, stronger now. And take a deep breath and breathe out and say peace.
If you haven't done so already, now you can open your eyes. Before ending this video, I would like to make 3 fairly important points. The first point is that you might have to return to this video a few times before your problem is completely cleared. It could also be the case that whatever you worked on today is in fact completely uprooted and you are and will be feeling really good. But even so, naturally, life has ups and downs, and when you're feeling down, you can return to this video, or when something upsetting happens in your life and you need help to let that go. When you do this again, your experience will be different depending on what you bring and what is happening inside of you at that time. But if it worked for you now, it will work again. Point number 2. As I mentioned already, most people will find that this video by itself is enough to help them. But if you're dealing with something that is too overwhelming, or you need support, or you feel that you need specific direction, reach out to me or to someone else who can help you. One of the biggest obstacles that keeps people from reaching out for help is the fact that they don't like what they hold inside of them. There's a natural resistance to go to places within our mind that we find unpleasant and emotionally painful. And some people think that because they don't like what they hold inside of them, why should someone else like that part of them? My experience is that most other people will come nowhere near judging us as harshly as we tend to judge ourselves, especially when we are reaching out for help. And when we feel supported, we can often go further. The thoughts and feelings that you hold within yourself are like programs based on your past experiences. And I know for sure that at this very moment, you are not your past. I have the tools to relieve the bondage that people have to their past painful experiences. And I do that through Skype sessions with people from all over the world. The third and final point might be the most important point. And that's based on the fact that the vast majority have no idea that the techniques that you have experienced in this video even exists. Because it's unknown, a lot of people that could be helped miss out. I would like to ask that if you found this helpful to share this video and maybe even tell others how it helped you. My friend Tori, the Vietnam War veteran that I told you about in the beginning of this video, believes that thousands of people could be helped by this method. I believe that it could possibly even save lives. But these people cannot be helped if they never find out about it. I certainly hope that this video helped you. Now you can help others simply by letting them know about that. I wish you a happy life and to live free.